Dun-na-na, dun-na-na. What is up, y'all? Yeah, that's right. I used that ESPN introduction. I love the shit out of it, so I used it. My name is Austin Pegram, and this is the Fitness That Fits You podcast. Fitness That Fits You is the brand, right? This is my company. I am the host, Austin Pegram. I like the way that's Austin Pegram. I am the host, okay? You're listening to the second episode here, the first official episode of the Fitness That Fits You podcast, but the second, I guess, audio recording, you could say, of our podcast. So before I kind of just give you all a good introduction and everything, I want to just kind of touch base with you on the first audio. And so there was a contest that I set in place. Now, on that contest, I actually kind of created a way for people who were listening to provide me with names that they thought would fit the podcast and the idea of, what we would be talking about. And it was initially titled Austin Said It. And I got a few clients, of course, to listen and kind of give me some feedback. And a couple names. Geared Up was one of them. Fitness That Fits You podcast was another one. Obviously, that one won because that's how I opened the podcast today. If you weren't paying attention the first 5 seconds, then you clearly didn't know about that at first, but now you know. All right. I've got let's see. There was Austin's Fit Well address, which I don't mind. I don't mind. I kind of like that. I kind of like that one. And then there was Be Good to Yourself. Okay. And there were a few more, but those were the four that really kind of stuck with me. Fitness That Fits You podcast is the one I chose. And so the winner of that contest, Miss Jenny Helvey, she gave me that name, or the idea to name the podcast The Fitness That Fits You podcast, and subtitle the podcast with, whatever we were going to be discussing that day. So congratulations, Jenny. You are the winner. You will be receiving a free lunch on me. Smiley face emoji. Now, we live right next to each other, right? So a lot of you didn't know that, but Jenny and I live right next to each other. She's a client of mine. She's on her fitness journey, and she's doing a fantastic job. We've really created a community for her, and I absolutely love the fact that she participates in the way that she does. It's awesome. We have our weekly happy hours where we all get on a Zoom call together and discuss our challenges for the week, and she always has some sort of input to not only help me in the way of how to help them, but also she also provides input to help the other individuals on that happy hour call. So I very much appreciate her for that, and for providing me with the winner, the name winner here. Sorry, I got away from that, but because we live right next to each other, Jenny, maybe we'll just do dinner sometime instead. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you. When you hear this, you'll know you're the winner. So you can let me know. Lunch or dinner. That rhymed. Winner, dinner. Yeah. Anyway. And so the second winner, you didn't know there was going to be a second winner, did you? You threw a little curveball at you. 90 miles per hour. Beth Broadbeck Hustis. Okay. Beth is a licensed massage therapist who works on me once a week. I really do think that is, I used to do a lot for my recovery and bounce back from fitness. But the last few weeks, I found out that accumulated time with her, has really made an impact on how I feel. I feel great. Oftentimes you're like, man, I just had a hard workout. I kind of want to go get some needling done, and I want to do this and do that, but I haven't had to do that. If I do, it's me forcing myself to do so, because I've been having my body work done by her, and I feel freaking great. But Beth gave me she'll be on at some point on this podcast to discuss the importance and the benefits that massage therapy can have, not just on, your recovery, but also your performance, right? Your mental, just the stress that you may hold in your body, et cetera, et cetera. She'll be able to provide you with a bit more information on how awesome her work is. But I was having a session with her not too long ago. This was a fitness session, and she was kind of introducing the name of a song to me, and it was titled "Be Good to Yourself." And this is an idea that I'm always trying to push on individuals, my clients especially, because I've struggled with that. And, I would imagine everyone in the world struggles with it. If you're on Instagram, you probably don't think everyone in the world struggles with it because you're probably following those Instagram models who only show you the highlights, the wonderful, perfect highlights of their life. And that's just not reality. But everyone deals with the shit. And so, sometimes you need a reminder to be good to yourself, to sit down and be good to yourself. And so she brought that to my attention, and I was like, man, she doesn't know it, but that's going to be a starting and a finishing concept here during the podcast, right? Introducing the podcast, all of the above, and then starting with, all right, you all, let's be good to ourselves, something a bit more suave than that, right? A little bit more suave, a little bit more style, a little bit more finesse, but it's going to be good to yourself. It'll be plugged in there. You'll be like, whoa, that was nice. But anyway, so congratulations, Beth. You'll be hearing that at the beginning and the end of every single recording that you listen to. Okay, so thank you very much. You will also be receiving a free lunch. If you did not participate in providing names, you all, then do not get salty about the free lunches I'm passing out. You were asked to participate, right? I gave I spread this audio out over a list of 90 different people, and only 4 got back to me. So do not be upset, all right? Do not get jealous when the winners are enjoying their free lunch. I would, of course, suggest that the winners make sure that you get a good smacking on your food, right? Really enjoy that food. So do those individuals who did not participate. Know that the next time Austin sends out an audio, we better listen because he's going to be handing out free lunches. Make sure they know. All right. Yeah, I'm salty about it. All right, y'all. So, no curriculum for you today necessarily. Just wanted to, of course, introduce the podcast, let you know who I am, and then let you know who the winners were for naming the podcast, and then give you an idea of what you can expect on this podcast, officially the Fitness That Fits You podcast. Okay. Weekly, this is going to be coming out Monday evenings. You'll have access to this podcast. I will make sure to a new episode rather. I'll let you know if anything is going to change. And I'll do so on this podcast. Or if you are on my newsletter list, you will receive that as well. I am always going to have information for you that is going to allow you to thrive. It's going to benefit you on your day-to-day journey to weight loss or muscle gain or just healthy living or what have you, whatever your objective is. Okay. There's always going to be curriculum. All right. Next week, we're going to be discussing the importance of fitness and nutrition. And yes, you're probably thinking, well, yeah, we know it's important, but I want to discuss the combination of the two and why they're so important together. A lot of people just think, well, I can eat, like I want to. And then if I go and work out the next day, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'll work out as hard as I do so that I can eat and drink however I want to. That's not how it works. And a lot of people think, well, I don't have to do exercise because I eat really well. That's not how it works. And a lot of people put out this whole percentage thing of, 80-20, 80% in the kitchen, 20% in the gym, and that's not how it works either. Okay. So I really want to touch base on that. That's going to be a conversation. It'll also be a very factual episode as well. Okay. You'll be getting some information. In the following weeks, we're going to have people on. Okay. I want to have Beth on, the licensed massage therapist I mentioned earlier. I've got a couple of physical therapists that I want to have on as well. Mr. Daryl Williams, Mr. Luke, if you're listening to this, if you somehow find this, I'm sorry if I've just screwed up your last name. I very much apologize. Also I train a lot of, and by a lot, I mean 2 nurse practitioners, Erica Mahone. We go back and forth on whether or not it's Mahoney or Mahone. She tells me it's Mahone, but I'm like, nah, it's Mahoney. She's like, it's my name. It's Mahone. It's Mahone. The E is like silent. It's Mahone. I'm like, I'm calling you Mahoney. And then Miss Genesis Young. The 2 of them have a different aspect, or rather a different direction that they kind of take in the way of looking at your health, right, and your internal health and your physical health, and they're not necessarily looking at it in the way of massage or in the way of exercise, right? So I'm trying to get as many perspectives as possible, right, to provide you with as much information as possible, right, as much positive resource as possible, right? Let's see, a few nurses that are working less in outpatient locations and more in hospitals. And so I want to give people a good idea, a friendly, positive, fun atmosphere idea of, what things are looking like in the way of coronavirus, what kind of health risks or what kind of clientele or patients they come into contact with, what their health is like, how common it is, how it affects them mentally, right? What kind of things can we avoid to stay out of that position, et cetera, et cetera. Just finding ways to make that conversation a beneficial one for you. Bringing on active clients as well. I want you to know real life stories. I want you to know the journeys and the trials that people go through, to reach their goals. Mothers, man, this is a big one, right? This is a big one. Fathers as well, but I'll be having some dads on too, but mothers, this is a big one because, you have, there's a general rule, right? If you become pregnant, obviously how you can exercise your first trimester, second trimester, and third trimester are initially dependent on what your activity was like before you became pregnant. But of course, once you start to dive further into your pregnancy, then there are a lot of restrictions. So how do you exercise during that, right? What does your exercise look like? What does your diet look like, right? How does your health shift, and then postpartum, right? I would imagine that's the most complex time after, having a baby. What is it like to get back into your health and nutrition, into your fitness? What's that like? I know there's a 6-week waiting period before you can do virtually anything, assuming there are some surgical repairs that need to take place following the birth, right? So definitely want to have mothers on. I'm just very intrigued by just motherhood and the journey and the development, the change that happens to the female body, right? At any rate, but yeah, that gives you a good idea. I really want to have different perspectives. Everything fitness and everything health on this podcast to provide you all with as much information and as much love and self-care and ideas as possible. Okay. Now, if you want to follow me, and you should, you can follow me on Instagram at AustinFTFY. That's AustinFTFY. If you want to follow me on Facebook, and you should, you can follow me at Austin Z Pegram. That's my main page. Or you can follow me on the information page that I have, a community page. That's FTFY information community page. Okay. Very much looking forward to the time that we're going to spend together, you all. Be good to yourself always. Never forget, you are the best thing, right? The best thing for you. You are the best thing for you. Be kind to yourself. Be good to yourself. Okay. I'm out. Fitness to Fit You podcast. Cannot wait for future episodes. Da-na-na, da-na-na.